I believe that Spanish football is lived differently. It was my perception that in 1982, when I first came to Spain to watch football, the type of football that was played in La Liga, very different from now, quite similar to Britain. So what I fell in love with first was the noise. Where else in the world does the crowd go, "Ooh," when the ball goes near the goal? Which other country smells like this? Smelt of cigar smoke and coffee. Which other country had 4 or 5 daily football newspapers? So that all over the country, whether it was Andalusia, Galicia, the Basque country, men and women, mostly men in those days, but women now, opened the newspaper, read football from front to back and argued in the bar about this or that or the next thing. The stadiums were big. It wasn't raining. I fell in love with everything to do with Spain. And then the bonus was that this was a country that began to be driven by Cruyff ideas. Football Club Barcelona not only employed him as a player and a coach, but they took his brains, his DNA, and they applied it to how they developed footballers. And then what happened? The national team did the same. And therefore coming here was an easy decision. I didn't come as a tourist. I came because I thought that people spoke about football better in Spain. People analysed football better. In my country, you weren't allowed to go to the training ground as a journalist to watch and to learn. So I believed that Spanish football would teach me to be a better reporter, a better journalist, a better storyteller, and a happier fan. I suppose that I didn't come to live in Barcelona because of the sunshine. I didn't come to learn Catalan. I came because I believed that this was a club and a city that I could explain, a place that inspired me. And I'm sorry to say the same message, but it's true. At the fundamental part of why I love football, I can even see now, and I'll cry if you keep pushing my buttons. Cruyff, like a ballet dancer and a professor and an Olympic athlete, and like George Best or the Beatles, all wrapped into one. Even though when I moved here, it was before Johan Cruyff's influence was brought back to this club by Joan Laporta. Barcelona still lived and breathed technique, intelligence, inspiration, as far as I was concerned. I got lucky. I came at a time of revolution, of rebirth. I came at a time when all the plants, who plants forests these days? Forests help the planet breathe. And all we do is we cut down trees to make paper that we misuse. The forest was planted here by Johan Cruyff, by his ideology, by people in football Bassi who stayed even though he went and kept doing the right things. And the harvest was beautiful. The plants all grew and I was here. So if I know Football Club Barcelona well, one, it's because they treat you well. They allow you to report well. The players trust you if you're good. And because I was reporting on an era that, in my opinion, was the greatest in the history of club football, and I wanted to explain the reasons because it didn't happen by luck. I can't, honestly, as an honest journalist, as an honest storyteller, sit here today and say the Barcelona model is a good one to learn from without saying the Barcelona model Cruyff version is a good one to learn from. I must be honest and say that there's a great deal about the current board, about the current buying, and about the current youth system that I don't share. What I believe is a vital model to follow is perhaps you can stand right now and say for the last 15 years, the business, the marketing, the identity, the world reach, all of that has been handled very cleverly. This is preeminent in how to take a brand, to market it, to expand consciousness around the world, to bring adoration from every country in the world. Yeah, this club does that very well indeed. But if you want to contrast it with the football method, I only have to qualify my answer by saying the Barca Cruyff method in football isn't necessarily right for every club or every country, but it's the best. It's proven that it's the best, and I wish that people would copy it. If I answer about why Johan was so special on and off the pitch, then I have to do it in two ways. It's impossible otherwise. One, he is the single most important man in the history of organised football. Nobody else unites three qualities. He's amongst the top 2, 3, 4 best players ever. Already you're on the pantheon. As a coach, he proved that had his career been longer, he would easily be contesting to be the best coach, one of the best coaches ever. As it is, he set records with Ajax and Barcelona, gave us beauty, gave us technique, gave us intelligence. He's elite as a coach. He's on the pantheon twice. The third time he enters the pantheon is that he shows that he is a great professor. We're here on the Cruyff Barca MBA. He was a brilliant teacher. He didn't simply say, go and look at what I did. He could explain, he could influence. He pulled the strings behind the selection, the decision, the personnel, the idea, the philosophy, the romanticism of this Pep Guardiola era, the Laporta era, the Rijkaard era. He inspired. Without Cruyff, there's no Iniesta at Barcelona. Too small, too young. Without Cruyff, there's no Xavi, too small. No Messi, send him away. Only Charlie Retzach fought to keep Messi. Now, everybody laughs. He's the greatest player ever. How could you miss it? They did miss it. Why was he retained? Because of Cruyff thinking. The magnetism around him. He was a genius, a brilliant person, but a good person. You went near him and something special was in your life. He devoted the last quarter of his life to making sports people better educated to have a great career, to making young people who were handicapped physically or mentally, not only to have a better life, but to soar, to find new things in themselves, to aspire to new ambitions via sport. He drove that. He made thousands of people's lives better because that's the type of man he was. So if that's not a good answer to your question, I don't know what is. The first time I learned about it, I had to sit and listen, because almost every footballer in the modern era says, I have a foundation or I have a football school. And often it's for personal profit. Often it lasts for a year or two. And often the footballer will try to do something that's beyond their talents. One, it's lasted for how many years now? 20, 25 years? Two, you can see the people that it's benefited, whether it be sports professionals who are now better qualified not only to live a fulfilling career, but it's like giving nutrients to sport. Just like Cruyff putting himself back into Football Club Barcelona once he was no longer going to be a coach again. You put nutrients into sport. Bayern Munich are an example, and I know Johan felt that way with his great friend Franz Beckenbauer. Was I surprised that Johan was authoring, bringing sports people who then had become better qualified back into sport? No, that didn't surprise me. But to watch him dedicating so much time, so much love, and so much money to making sure that young people who have handicaps in one way or another could expand, could soar, could be more confident, could be happier. It didn't surprise me about him, but it surprised me that it goes against the tide. In the world, there aren't enough people willing to give everything and to raise money and to dedicate their lives to making other people's lives better. It's out of fashion, but that for me will never be out of fashion. So surprised, I'd like to say no, happy. Happy to have witnessed it, happy to have made a small contribution to it.